Good afternoon and welcome to St Brendan's Park in Birr. There was a touch of ground frost this morning, but the sun is splitting the stones here at one of the most celebrated and historic fields in Gaelic games. We're here for the Lidl Ladies National Football League Division 4 final. Repeat of the group clash between Limerick and Offaly. Offaly, of course, very advantaged by, you would say a little slightly advantaged by home advantage here. We'll see how it plays out. Limerick, of course, won that group game by 4 points, albeit played in very, very different conditions at Staker Wallace. 3-4 to 1-6 on that afternoon. I have to say, I'm joined here by Orla Heavey, former Offaly footballer, former Road footballer. We're not going to get 3-4 to 1-6, 7 scores each. Not going to cut it this afternoon, I'm going to say.
No, hopefully not. It's a very different day out there. The sun is shining, as you said, so I'm sure we'll get a cracker of a game with these conditions.
7 years ago, these two sides met in the very same fixture. You were involved in that particular game. Look, it's been complete turnaround. We have 3 Limerick starters and 1 Offaly starter from that fixture. But talk to me first before we get into the actual players. Does it change that? Do you change your routine? Do you get wound up? Do you do anything different coming up to a big fixture like a final like this?
No, I don't think so. When we were in 2015, Greg Farley would have had us for the last couple of years before that, so we were well versed in what was expected of us in the warm-up and the days running up to it and everything. So no, I don't think it really got to us too much, and I'm sure it's the very same with the girls now. They've been playing league finals and things, or league matches in the last couple of weeks. They'll have gotten used to the Sunday traditions and routines, and it's just like any other game. But like, who wouldn't want to be playing football on a day like today? It's absolutely blissful, really.
If you were in the shoes of the Offaly management, would you be, or in the Limerick management for that matter, how would you handle the two sides having met already? Would you say, okay, we're going to try and learn a lot from this, or do you say, look, it was played at the tail end of Storm Francis, it doesn't matter? Yeah,
I'd say now it's a totally different ball game. Even looking at a few interviews from Graham Shine, the Limerick manager, during the week, he was saying that Offaly were missing a few players that day, and they know that it's a totally different layout, totally different team. Mairead Daly has come back into the fore after, bringing her club to 2 All-Ireland finals, not just one. Mairead doesn't do one thing at a time. 2 All-Ireland club titles. So they've had a few people kind of coming back into the panel. So if I were the Limerick manager, I'd be telling them to start from square one again, that it's a brand new game.
Absolutely. Well, we'll start with the Limerick team first, and we'll take you through the side. They are pretty much 14 of the 15 starters from the team that played that game at Staker Wallace. We'll take you through the team. It's Sophie Hennessy in goals, Christine Reedy, Sarah O'Sullivan and Maeve Holleran in the full back line. There's a fair bit of experience there. I mentioned how there's just 3 players surviving from 2015. 2 of those are Christine Reedy and Sarah O'Sullivan in the full back line. So there's a fair bit of experience there. And Sarah O'Sullivan actually will be marking the one Offaly player, well, presuming the line out is selected, of course, which is a very prehistoric notion in this day and age. But she would be marking Ellie McAvoy. So we go into the half-back line. Plenty of attack and pace down the sides with Amy Ryan and Maeve McNamara. Amy, of course, has lined out further up the field for Limerick already this year. Leah Coughlin will be more likely to hold her position at centre-back, try and cut out runners coming through the middle. Again, strength and form at midfield. Loretta Hanley, the other player who was knocking around 7 years ago, she was a corner back then, and beside her, Roisin Ambrose, one of the form players in the country at the moment, was an absolutely crucial member of the UL team that won the Yoplait O'Connor Cup recently. She was part of the higher education all-star team, and to get selected at that, you're talking about some of the best footballers in Ireland are in contention for that, so that'll show the form that she's in at midfield. Half forward line, we have Grania McKenna, has been a huge addition to this Limerick side since transferring down from Monaghan this year. Rebecca DeLay, of course, at centre forward, didn't start some of the games earlier this year, but she's the only player actually who didn't start the group game between these two sides, but obviously would be a key player and scored a crucial goal in their semi-final win over Fermanagh. And then Kathy Mee, who was also very, very impressive in that game. She scored 1-4 in that match, so probably reasonable to assume all 3 of them will look to attack. Katrina Davis, top of the right, reasonable to assume she might maybe drop back into a more defensive role and sweeping, but certainly plenty of scores to be had. Mairead Kavanagh got 2 goals last time out. Be interesting to see how she goes against her native county. And Iris Kennelly, nothing more needs to be said except that she was Lidl Player of the Month for the month of March for the form she showed during the Division 4 National League campaign. So very, very strong Limerick team with plenty of attacking power, I should say. So to take you through the Offaly side now, and there was a little bit of a doubt over Emer Evans in goals, but as far as I can make out, she's fit to start in the game. So she goes in. She's been a huge addition to the side this year. Two Naomh Kieran players, Nicole Buckley and Emer Nally in the full back line. Emer Nally, of course, just coming back from a long-term injury, alongside Becky Bryant of the Tullamore club. She's been in superb form this year, was a key part in Tullamore, of course, breaking Naomh Kieran's run of success in the Offaly County Championship. Tullamore did really well to turn them over last year, and Nicole Buckley was a huge part of that, as was Annie Keogh in the half-back line. Centre back Michelle Mann and Roisin Ennis, of course, another player who was heavily involved in the O'Connor Cup. She was involved with DCU. Midfield, Emma Maher and Amy Gavin Mangan, again all Naomh Kieran pairing. Half forward line, Fiona Dempsey, Emma Hand and Saoirse McGuinness. Emma Hand has been a real revelation this year since coming in from the Valnamere Doro club. She's racked up a few very, very important scores. And then close to goal you have Marie Byrne, who plays with club football with St Conleth's in Laois. Ellie McAvoy, of course, at full forward. Ciara Walsh at top of the left. Ellie McAvoy, 8 points last day against Leitrim, and Ciara Walsh with a crucial goal and 2 in what was a big, big win for Offaly. So just to take Orla about those two semi-final results, I mean, they were both very, very close fixtures. Offaly came through after extra time. Limerick, it was a late goal. It was level going into the last few minutes. So, you know, tight games like that, they're the kind of wins you want to come in with. That's far more valuable than an 8 or 9 point victory.
Absolutely, you don't learn anything from those games where you end up cruising and you don't really have to, you know, work yourself too hard or anything like that. So they were also really high scoring. Offaly scored 2-16 against Leitrim and Limerick scored 4-10. So it was a really high scoring game. Both teams getting huge amount of scores, points and goals. So it actually, interestingly enough, both of them were on 22 points each. So hopefully that'll be the same for today, and we'll get a cracking game.
Limerick would probably make the argument there. They only had 60 minutes to score that, so
That's
that'll be their defence. But look, sure, they also conceded more. Look, I think it's fair to say it's a very, very tough one to call. Both sides under new management, and it's impressive too that managers have been able to hit the ground running, because 2 new management teams this year, it hasn't been easy. I mean, even at the start of this year, I won't say we've forgotten about it now, but there was plenty of restrictions still in place when Graham Shine and when the Offaly duo of Danny McGarvey and Brian O'Rourke came in. Plenty of restrictions which made life difficult. Yeah,
and also it does take a time to buy into a management, and you know, just speaking from my own experience, it did take us 3-4 years to get into the run of things really when Greg Farley took us over, and I know how difficult it is. So for both teams to have brand new management, I'd say it's probably one of the only times it's happened really in the division, in the league this year so far. So they're definitely hitting the ground running, as you said, and it's great to see that they have really started off on a strong foot. It means an awful lot for the championship as well.
Absolutely. So the two teams being led around here by the Mount Bolus Pipe Band, very, very accomplished musicians, very, very slow walkers, and it's causing a little bit of a traffic delay behind them there. I think the girls from both sides are itching to get going. They're not exactly, they don't operate at quite the same tempo, is the fairest thing to say. So huddles on both sides, no real wind advantage to speak of here this afternoon. Flags barely moving. Now the flags behind me would suggest that there might be the very, very slightest of wind advantages blowing from right to left as you're looking at it on your TV screen here. But
I know there was a doubt, I think, at the start about Emer Evans, but she seems to be lining out in goals anyway for Offaly.
So Emer Evans is in there. So both teams lining out as selected on the programme, 1 to 15. Obviously, if we see any prominent positional switches, we'll bring them to you. Suffice it to say, neither management team would be willing to trust commentators with such information in this day and age. They barely trust their own players, is the way things have gone anymore. But the other thing then too, you go into a big game like this, there's the accepted wisdom, oh look, you know, if you don't force your way into the game, a game can pass you by. On the other hand, you want to be patient and wait and still do the right things. You know, different mentalities for different players, or is there a certain way you would have approached these kind of games?
I just did as I was told. I found that was the easiest way to go about it. But I remember when we played, the kickouts were just a massive thing for us. So we tried to really get on top of the Limerick kickout from the get-go, and I'm sure Limerick will do the very same to Offaly. You know, if you really push up on kickouts, you can get serious advantages from it. And I'd say that might be something that both managements will be looking at. I'm just having a look there. It does look like it's Emer Evans, all right. I think pretty much everyone's lining out as per the programme. I'm a little concerned about Emer Nally being full-back against Mairead Kavanagh from Limerick. She's a considerable height advantage, so we'll just see how that one pans out, but it looks like it's going to play out as is on the programme.
For the moment anyway, yeah, I see now there's Offaly's forwards lining out as is. They're giving us a little bit of a head start here, though Michelle Mann did move out originally out here towards the left wing, and it looked like Annie Keogh was dropping into centre back, but remains to be seen if that's the case. Definitely
like
a change in the Limerick forward line. I'm looking at the forward line as it starts at the moment is Grania McKenna, Katrina Davis and Iris Kennelly. So remains to be seen as the ball is, and we're underway straight away. Mel Kenny has the ball thrown in, and straight away Limerick are on the attack. Roisin Ambrose with the first possession, feeds it back inside towards Mairead Kavanagh. Kavanagh, long range right-footed shot. She looks happy with that. That's straight between the posts. Well, that's certainly one way to settle yourself into a game.
That was a long range point as well from Mairead. Normally she's in around the square, but she can kick them. That was, I'd say, about 40 yards out. Great score.
There you go. Mairead, of course, native of Walsh Island, so but has thrown her lot in with Limerick UL student, as that kick out is broken back towards the Offaly goal, but well done there by Nicole Buckley. A little bit of pressure coming on her, and eventually it's going to be a wide ball and a second chance for a kick out here from Emer Evans. So that's a fast start from Limerick, and as you say, you know, you can pin a team back because you can't get the distance on the kick out. Now that's a good distribution out towards Roisin Ennis. The Offaly captain tries to execute the pass, doesn't do it particularly well. It's broken up there by Roisin Ambrose, but instead goes out over the sideline, or sorry, not by Roisin Ambrose, by Katrina Davis. And Offaly get a chance to rebuild here now, playing the ball back across towards Emer Nally. Needs to gather that quickly. A little bit of pressure coming on her there from Iris Kennelly, but Nally is able to, so far, first test, and gets the ball away towards Nicole Buckley. Offaly now with a chance to try and bring the ball forward here through Michelle Mann. That's a sloppy high hand pass, easily intercepted on the Limerick side. And there's a chance for Limerick now to carry the ball forward. Iris Kennelly takes possession here on the 45 metre line. There's a little bit of space for Kathy Mee. Kathy Mee in very strong scoring form. There's an overlap here. Limerick goal chance coming in at the far side. Katrina Davis taps that ball in. The hand pass put it absolutely on a plate. It all stemmed from the giveaway ball, but at the same time, defence was just completely disorganised there.
Yeah, it was a bad hand pass over the far side of the pitch. It was a big high loopy pass, which, you know, we're all warned not to do, but it's easier said than done. Could have been a free against there.
But you have to say, really clinical on the Limerick side as they worked that ball in. Everything, it was a swift pass. Kathy Mee, she would have been well in within her rights to take on the score herself. She saw that there was more there to be had. Quick link up with Iris Kennelly, ball across, and a simple goal for Katrina Davis. But suddenly Limerick 4 points to the good. First Offaly attack, Ellie McAvoy now, and that's an excellent score under pressure. Straight away trying to break a little bit of Limerick momentum, and certainly that's a vital score. You can see the goal, you just need it to settle you down.
Absolutely, yeah, hopefully that'll settle them now, and if Offaly could push up on this kick out now and win one back, it'd settle them even more.
There you go. You're allowed to say hopefully. I'm officially from Offaly, but
I
have to be very, very neutral. You're allowed to be biased. When you spend so long playing in the county colours, it would be something wrong if you weren't biased. Ball back forward here now. Saoirse McGuinness carrying it forward, feeds it back inside. Amy Gavin Mangan. Good low ball now. Ellie McAvoy comes out. She's after kicking one off her right foot. Looks to step inside the tackler. She's gone for another one here, and that's another excellent kick. Again, straight between the posts, and 2 points straight away from the Naomh Kieran full forward. My Forban upbringing doesn't allow me to call her Shannon Bridge, even though I know that's where she's from. But
yeah, them type of scores are Ellie's bread and butter. She's been scoring them as long as she's been playing football. She just swings off onto her right and no bother to her. So there's two fantastic scores from Ellie to settle Offaly.
So, but on the other hand, you'd say Limerick worked that kick out really, really well. Rebecca DeLay was the player who came back to pick up the handy ball, and they've used it the whole way up. Kathy Mee driving forward now. We're definitely in for a high scoring encounter. That's a little bit unlucky now. I thought definitely no, it was
a push in the back as opposed to over carrying.
Yeah, absolutely. So Emer Nally tries to work that ball out. That's a good ball to Michelle Mann. Well worked. Michelle Mann's pass though goes astray. Well gathered. Leah Coughlin read it all day. Injection of pace from the Ula player. Carries it forward down the left flank now. Ball fed inside. Another chance for Limerick. Looking for the hand pass into Mairead Kavanagh. It's broken up. Pulling the hand, I'll tell you, Nicole Buckley's lucky enough too there. You wouldn't always get given those ones either.
No, that hand pass over the full back there, that's kind of going to cause us a bit of issue, I think, if we don't start tightening up there.
So there was a little bit hit and hope there from Emer Nally as she played that out. She was looking to try and connect with Emma Hand, but overshot the Ballinamere Doro player. And again, Limerick in possession. Amy Ryan now driving forward. Plenty of pace with Amy Ryan there. She's coming into the game from the wing back position. Kathy Mee again has been hugely involved. I make that 4 or 5 possessions for the Ballylanders player already. Driving down the side. Will she try and shoot from a tight angle? Emer Nally comes over to her. Good tackling from Emer Nally. Does really, really well. Emma Maher is there to pick up the breaks. Now Offaly try and break out. Winning this ball here. Amy Gavin Mangan picks it up. Gavin Mangan walks on the line of over-carrying herself, but manages to get the hand pass away inside towards Annie Keogh. Offaly now with a little bit of space opening up on this right flank. Michelle Mann tries to fire the ball forward. Good, accurate, low delivery. First possession of the game for Marie Byrne now. Marie Byrne, of course, chipped in with a crucial goal in that semi-final win over Leitrim a couple of weeks ago. Ball back inside now. Saoirse McGuinness takes possession. Saoirse McGuinness loses that. Strong tackle. Again, it was on the line. You'd have to say a couple of 50-50 decisions so far have gone Offaly's way.
Yes, absolutely. I was just going to say it. Kathy Mee there, the half forward from Limerick, you spoke about her. She's very, very strong runner. She's running directly at our defence, at Offaly's defence, and it's causing serious issues. So she's definitely one that needs to be watched.
Absolutely. Ellie McAvoy stands over the free. She's looking at it. Doesn't look like she's happy. No. From the angle we're looking at here, it was hard to tell by the kick, but you knew by the kicker. And she was less than happy with that one. That's a first wide for either team in this game. Well, sorry, no, there was a wide down this end. It wasn't an attempted goal, however. It was just a ball that drifted over. So Sophie Hennessy now looks out towards her right flank, looks for the long ball. It overshoots Roisin Ennis. Roisin can't control it, and the ball breaks over her head, and it goes out for a Limerick sideline ball.
I think that actually hit off Roisin Ennis there.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Limerick sideline ball here. Kathy Mead chips it inside. Mead has been hugely involved. That battle with Roisin Ennis is going to be absolutely massive. Feeds that ball forward now. Leah Coughlin carrying the ball forward. I said at the start she was the player most likely to sit back and hold the centre back position. Well, she's showing no interest in that so far. Happy to get involved in the attack. Lovely ball from Kathy Mee. Oh, that's great interplay by the Limerick forward line. Mairead Kavanagh now. High solo, but will she get a chance to get her shot away? The pressure is coming on. Could there be a free in? No. Over carrying call or handled on the ground, I think it says.
I think that easily could have been a free in from Mairead Kavanagh. She did a great run off the shoulder there of Iris Kennelly, I think. It was very, very good run. Very
lovely
dangerous.
interplay in the Limerick forward line now. That quick exchange of hand passes. Traditional football. Roisin Ennis carrying the ball out now. Roisin dinks a good ball. She's looking for Ellie McAvoy here. Ellie shows good strength. Manages to hold off Sarah O'Sullivan. Wins the ball the second attempt, but she's a lot of ground to cover to get within scoring range. Ellie McAvoy now takes a hop, 2 hops and a solo in between. McAvoy takes a third hop and didn't put a solo in between, and Mel Kenny catches that one, and it's a free out for Limerick.
To be fair to Ellie there, she didn't have a huge amount of options looking for the ball off either. She was fairly isolated out here on the wing.
Yeah, Ciara Walsh was inside trying to get space but couldn't get any separation from her marker, and they'll certainly need a strong contribution from Walsh this afternoon to try and share that scoring workload, because it's all Ellie. Offaly won't get enough just from her. Strong work here now from Roisin Ambrose at midfield. Pulls off 2 Offaly tacklers, retains possession, works the ball back towards Amy Ryan, and Limerick now carrying it forward. That's a good run into a pocket of space from Loretta Hanley. Pass bounces up, and I'd say this could be a throw ball.
Charging, free out for Offaly.
I have to say now, again, that's another one where I would say Mel Kenny, you could make a case for it, but it was far from certain, no?
I know, I've seen them given now.
There you go. Well,
that's a hit and hope ball.
Maybe that's the big awkward junior B in me that feels you should be allowed to get away with these things. Good diagonal ball on the Limerick side now. Well won here on the by Katrina Davis. So Katrina Davis, we thought she might line out a sweeper, but instead she's playing a very straightforward, orthodox inside attack and roll. But that's well done now by Emer Nally. Emer will take plenty of encouragement from the start. A couple of her passes weren't good, but she's after picking up a few tackles and dispossessions.
She had a great dispossession down there. Oh, 2 Limerick girls
running into each other. I don't know, that certainly wasn't Roisin Ennis's plan when she gave that sort of hit and hope delivery. Long ball forward from Christine Reedy here, but again, that the long kick just not working. You really, it's keeping it in the hands and working it, using your pace is really the way to go here.
And that's what has worked for them already. They got a goal doing that, and they nearly got another one. So it's definitely something they need to just keep working on through the hands. And Offaly at the same time, they're giving hit and hope type balls. Now that was a good ball there from
good
Fiona
work from
Dempsey.
Annie Keogh feeds
Keogh.
it down towards Ellie McAvoy. Ellie again being shadowed by Sarah O'Sullivan. This time gets the pass away. Chance for Saoirse McGuinness now. Saoirse McGuinness that gets hit as she gets away the shot, and it's wide. Of course, Saoirse, I was slightly surprised to see her lining out this afternoon. Of course, she was a key player for Moat Community School in their All-Ireland Colleges final yesterday. So, that's...
Yeah, she might have tired legs, but...
Well, tired legs, and the fact that, even if you win the game, there's always the added psychological value as well. Like, you'd feel energised if you won, but of course, good win for Clonakilty on that occasion. Fully deserved, no one would argue otherwise, but good work from Limerick here. Kathy Mee gets the ball inside. Roisin Ambrose couldn't quite gather at the first attempt. But again, you'd have to say there would have been a goal chance there because she was coming in at pace.
Emer Nally swept up a nice few balls there, but she seems to almost be free. Mairead Kavanagh's playing between centre and full, so I wouldn't say Emer Nally is actually man marking anyone. So it's suiting Offaly for now. So yeah, it's looking okay for now.
You realise I'm going to have to turn into a Limerick cheerleader here now if you
I'm
keep
trying.
doing this. No, I promise to keep it neutral. I'll do that. Ooh. Decided that the sideline ball took too long, and that one's getting turned around, and it's going to be an Offaly ball instead. So short sideline, Ellie McAvoy coming out deep to win it again. Ball inside toward Ciara Walsh. I think that's the first possession for Walsh so far in this game. McAvoy comes onto it again a second time. She wants to get back onto her right foot. She does get back onto her right foot, and her demeanour is very, very different that time.
Yeah,
you could tell as soon as she let it go, she was much happier with that, and that's a third point for the full forward, and Offaly back to within a score. Back to within a point, I should say. It's been a good response after a very lightning start from Limerick.
Absolutely, yeah. Limerick do look the better team as of now, but Ellie McAvoy is keeping us in it with those fantastic points.
Well won by Roisin Ennis there, picks up the kick out. It's good distance on the Limerick kick out now.
There is for sure, yeah.
Wasn't necessarily the most accurate delivery in the world. Ooh, a little bit of a hospital pass there from Saoirse McGuinness. But Fiona Dempsey does really well with it. Dempsey steps inside the tackler. Dempsey comes onto her right foot, decides to take the point, and we've got a level game here in Burr.
It was very nearly intercepted by the wing back there, Maeve McNamara, but Fiona Dempsey did well and side-footed a good few players now, sidestepped a good few players to get by, and a super score.
That's it. We come on with a little bit of momentum. So again, this time Sophie Hennessy goes a little bit shorter, and Sarah Sullivan is the player who picks it up. There's a lot of pressure coming on. Limerick have managed to retain possession. Maeve O'Halloran comes up, sweeps up the pieces, and manages to turn it into a good possession for Roisin Ambrose on the left wing. Ambrose gets it inside towards Grania McKenna. McKenna was lining out. She's the one really playing as the sweeper. She was notionally corner forward at the start, but has dropped back into the sweeper role. Lovely step inside from Iris Kennelly. Iris Kennelly comes back onto her right foot, possibly has hooked that one a little bit. It's close. No, it's actually a second Limerick wide in the game.
She had Emma Hand running off, she had Rebecca Deal running off her there fairly sharp, so if she had passed it off to her, it could have been at least a point for Limerick.
So Offaly worked the ball out here. Nicole Buckley trying to get the hand pass away, but it's a little bit sloppy. Emma Maher trying to win it for Offaly, and Emma is deemed to have hit with the shoulder. And that's going to be a free back down, a free on the Limerick side at around midfield. So if you're looking on your camera, it looks like there's not too many people at the game here, but there's actually a decent crowd. Understandably, most people have come over on the camera side here on the terrace, try and get the little bit of vitamin D that's going, because wouldn't be a day for sitting in the stand under the shelter now, it has to be said. Good tackling there for Ellie McAvoy, trying to get in front of Maeve McNamara, and she does well, secures the turnover. Chance for Offaly to break here now. McAvoy was down on the ground, and they decided there was a free instead. So long ball across. Michelle Mann finds Emma Hand. Emma Hand now has plenty of space in front of her. Ciara Walsh needs to maybe pull out a little bit wider. It was actually Maria Byrne who made the run there, but just needed to go a little bit wider. Free given in that instance, you might have said, a couple of seconds to see if an advantage would have materialised.
I think so, yeah. He originally had the hand up right. I think she kind of went, she was sprinting forward, she had that bit of momentum with her, and I think there was a hand in the back just beforehand. But yeah, another couple of seconds, you wouldn't have known what would happen. So we've a change of free taker here. Yeah,
so it's
Emma Hand off the left.
She would be the one to take them further out, I have to say, and this is again a personal thing coming from Junior B. Now she looks happy enough with that, and sure enough we get the little nod of the head from the umpire. She doesn't do that usual mannerism which which forwards do to try and tell commentators that they've scored, which is when they start pointing at everyone. That's a very, it's the simplest way.
That's giving forwards a bad name, Kevin. We don't do that.
Well, I didn't do that largely because I hardly ever scored, but that's a separate thing entirely. No, that's usually, I will accept it's more of a men's thing that they do start kind of just, somebody puts the ball between the posts, they have to be seen. The accepted thing you do is you start pointing at everything around. You don't point at anything in particular, just point.
Jack McCarran, he was very good at it last weekend.
Yeah, well, he also had to kind of give a little nudge to the Dublin guy, but look, I think in the circumstances, you'd be entitled to that. Talk to me about what the conversations would be going on in the two huddles now as we look at the water break. I see Ellie McAvoy's doing the talking on the Offaly side. On the other hand, it is Graham Shine talking on the Limerick. You know, start with Limerick, you know, goal and a point on the board before we knew where we were, and suddenly you would have imagined at that rate they were going to rack up scores quickly. They haven't scored since. What are they doing wrong, or what do they need to change?
It was a lightning start from Limerick. I think they are best when they're working it through the hands and they're working it quickly. So if I was Graham Shine, I'm sure that's what he's saying to them, to start working it through the hands that bit more, because the long kick pass in isn't really working, especially if they don't have Mairead Kavanagh sitting in full forward. I'm sure the Offaly managers are happy enough with how that turned out after a shaky start. So yeah, it's really up now. There's going to be an exciting next few minutes, hopefully. It was a good
just showing a replay of the goal there as they work it through, and all I can say there is that the commentators weren't quite alert to that. We were watching the field instead of looking at the replay, which is what's being shown to you. So look, your eyes didn't deceive you. You saw it all yourself there. But good quick movement of the ball through the hands was exactly as Orla was saying. Was what was the key for Limerick, and they're trying to do the same again here. Christine Reedy goes back and picks up the kick out, and straight away they're on the attack. Big injection of pace here from Rebecca DeLay. Rebecca DeLay tries to get the hand pass away. Ellie McAvoy is tracking, but Kathy Mee is here. She might want to come back out onto her right foot. Doesn't get the hand pass away, and
I thought she was being held there.
I thought she was being held as well, I have to say. Certainly what rub of the green is in it has gone Offaly's way so far. Amy Gavin Mangan, quick ball across to Michelle Mann, long ball forward, that's well delivered. Fiona Dempsey's underneath that one, Dempsey, but that's good work from Maeve McNamara. Maeve McNamara, she nearly forced the turnover, a little bit unlucky. She got the ball down on the deck, ball fed on towards Emma Hand. Emma will want to come onto her left foot, that might drop short or push wide. Saoirse McGuinness is there fighting for it. Saoirse McGuinness battling with Amy Ryan, and it breaks on the Offaly side, fed back inside now. Chance here for Marie Byrne. Marie Byrne looks to get her shot away. It's close, the umpires are looking at it. There you go, Marie Byrne. She hadn't got a chance to have a shot on goal yet, but stepped up to the mark there, because the longer you go in the game without getting a chance to have a shot, it starts to affect you.
You do, you get a bit antsy. Alright, I actually thought that was fantastic work from Saoirse McGuinness there on the end line to keep it in. She kind of palmed it back behind her head and allowed the ball get to Marie Byrne, who put over a fantastic score. But that was a real team effort, and it could potentially have been a point the other way, because I think there was a foul there that was given for a throw ball.
Absolutely, I think there was definitely Kathy Mee a little bit unlucky. Roisin Ennis managed to
ball
usher that kick out. Lovely ball forward to Ellie McAvoy. Ellie tries to cut inside, decides that no, the goal's not on. She's going to come back onto her right foot, feeds it inside now. Oh, outside of the boot from Ciara Walsh, did really, really well. We just talked about Marie Byrne finally getting shot on the target and putting it between the posts, and Ciara Walsh did really well there. It looks like a close range shot, but she kind of had to kick it off the outside of the boot. Not easy to execute that one now.
No, that was a really, really good score. Fantastic work by Roisin Ennis. Gave a great ball into Ellie McAvoy, who caught a high ball, and I thought the chance was gone because the opportunity was there for her to kick and she didn't, but unselfishly she gave it off to Ciara Walsh, who scored a great point.
Rebecca DeLay again, she's been a key factor in the kick out so far. Runs at the Offaly defence. Amy Gavin Mangan forces a spill. DeLay tries to toe poke the ball forward, but really well done, Nicole Buckley. Nicole Buckley forces the turnover. Emer Nally now takes the ball out. Pressure coming on from Katrina Davis. Offaly managed to get it away. Offaly currently with a little bit of momentum. They're after scoring 7 points in a row, pulling the jersey on Annie Keogh. Referee decides play advantage, play on. Emma Maher comes into the game here now. Emma Maher with the awkward looking right footed kick, no other way to put it, and sure enough ends up in a turnover. Well won on the Limerick side by cornerback Christine Reedy. Worked that ball back in, and now Limerick have a chance to break. Loretta Hanley feeds the hand pass on, and Leah Coughlin certainly driving forward. She's done this several times. That's a good hand pass from Coughlin. She's gone again if Mairead Kavanagh can feed her. Kavanagh back inside towards Coughlin, now fed out here, and it's a chance off the left boot by Katrina Davis. And that's a poor effort now, 20 yards out. You can't really ask for anything better than that on your preferred foot.
Yeah, that was a missed opportunity for sure. It was fantastic work through the middle from Leah Coughlin to a quick ball. Mairead Daly spotted her, and unfortunately that was just a bad miss.
So kick out one on the Offaly side by Michelle Mann. Good delivery forward. Manages to find Saoirse McGuinness. McGuinness again with the long ball. Now Marie Byrne getting into the game. Oh, can't control that. Really should have brought it in. Limerick able to force the turnover. Strong running out of the Limerick defence now. Long left-footed kick forward. Looking to try and connect with Kathy Mee. Instead breaks the further. And Mee has gone on again. Takes the pass from Katrina Davis. Mee keeps going low. Finish from Iris Kennelly. Got the layoff to Iris Kennelly. And a brilliant finish, and suddenly we have a level game.
And that's exactly what Limerick are best at. They deliver a quick hand pass, a long kick pass, hand pass, and it's in the back of the net. Iris Kennelly running off the shoulder. And if they can continue to do that, that's all they really need to do, because the short passes just aren't working for them.
Clinical finish from Iris Kennelly. Hadn't really been involved in the game, but like that, has been a huge player for Limerick throughout this league campaign. Offaly now with a chance here. Ball has hit the deck. Managed to retain control inside towards Emma Maher. Maher feeds it inside to Ellie McAvoy. McAvoy too far out to be a scoring threat here, and she's held. Decides to go quick with the free. Takes the return pass. Now she's inside scoring range if she can get the room to shoot. Manages to get the layoff. It's Fiona Dempsey with the shot. Fiona Dempsey with her second point of the game. And Offaly back in front. But there's shades of the Leitrim game here too as well, where goals just costing them. They conceded an early goal against Leitrim as well and dominated the first half, but didn't really have much of a lead to show for it. So that pattern seems to be repeating itself.
Yeah, it sure does. Offaly have a lot of scorers as well, a lot of different scorers, whereas Limerick are relying on just their few scorers. So if they could just spread the love a little bit and get a few more scorers on the board, hopefully the points can keep ticking over.
So Roisin Ennis, she's done really well. There's been a lot of kickouts targeted that direction. Offaly fortunate to retain possession there. It was a poor hand pass from Saoirse McGuinness, but it broke in the right direction. Ellie McAvoy comes back onto her left foot. She's overhooked that one, and she pulled it wide of the target. She was right to take it on the run, but not her preferred foot, and sure enough goes wide of the target. But Limerick have targeted this right hand side here, and Roisin doing very well under the kickouts.
She is, yeah. They're trying to target Gráinne McKenna for the kickouts, but Roisin she's doing well. Two strong midfielders in Loretta Hanley and Roisin Ambrose are doing well, but Amy Gavin Mangan and Emma Maher are holding their own too.
I was about to say, it's a case of when Ambrose and Hanley are on the ball, they're very, very strong carrying it forward, but they don't seem to be a source of primary possession as much as we would have expected.
No, they're not.
As Ambrose gives that long ball and it bounces over the head of Emer Nally. Mairead Kavanagh is able to scoop in, and there could be another goal chance on here. Kavanagh feeds that ball ahead. Chance now. Shot from Katrina Davis. It's her second missed opportunity from close range. But after a strong start, Emer Nally completely misread the bounce on that, and it was another goal chance for Limerick. So you do get the sense these goal chances keep coming.
I think Mairead Kavanagh was nearly too unselfish there. She could have kept going herself. It was nearly a more open shot for her than for her to pass it to Katrina Davis.
As the hand pass from Davis goes over the top, Kathy Mee manages to get in behind Roisin Ennis. High solo from Mee. Hand pass the ball across the goal. Who's there at the far post? It's another goal. It's just a question of whether it's a square ball or not. Referee's going to talk to his umpires. Iris Kennelly was the one there to get the decisive touch.
Initially, now I did think it was a square ball, but they're just
discussing it here. We're still at the old rule, of course, or to the GA old rule. Was she in the square before the ball?
Very marginal.
Close. It's very, very close. It's on replay at the moment. You're looking at it here in front of you, and it's been given. It's hard to tell. I'll put it this way: there certainly wasn't sufficient evidence there to rule it out.
No, there wasn't. Yeah. No.
Not that Mel Kenny was looking at the replay or anything like that, but at the same time.
It wasn't obvious, no.
It was a marginal call, so you have to give the benefit of the doubt in that instance. So Limerick back in front by 2 points, but 3-1 to 8 points as Emer Nally hits the deck and is deemed no foul there. She overheld, and suddenly now momentum has shifted hugely again.
That's it, and goals, that's what you need in a match. If you're down by a couple of points, you get a goal. That's all you need to just lift the spirits. We have an injury here for Offaly.
Well, Emer Nally was the player on the ground, and she's picking herself up rather gingerly there. No doubt, probably feels that she might have got a free out for her trouble as well.
Yeah, she's done well to come back from cruciate, Emer Nally, so it's great to see her back on the pitch.
So a little bit of treatment here. I've been told Gavin Kelly, absolutely fantastic physio altogether. Admittedly, I was told by Gavin himself before the start of the game, so he suggested that he was worth a shout out. So there you go, Gavin. You can pick that up. You can pick that up when you're listening back to it. But he seems to have done the needful, and Emer's back up and ready to go. But it's going to be a free in for Limerick here.
There's a big gap between the half forward and full forward line.
And it's a well delivered free in, well won by Katrina Davis again, but the hand pass goes astray. You have to say there's pace and there's a lot of danger in the Limerick attack. There's just a slight lack of accuracy because they could have a lot more scores on the board as Emma Maher fires that one forward. Can Ellie McAvoy get there before the sideline? She can, picks that ball up, and she's a long way away from goal here, but does well, comes back inside. And you get the sense Sarah O'Sullivan knows there's no shot coming with the left foot. Instead there's a pass with the left foot, and that doesn't find the mark either. Well intercepted by Amy Ryan, and now Limerick have a chance to break out.
And this is how the last goal happened. It was an interception from the Offaly
and again
line.
The pass didn't go where it needed to go, but Mairead Kavanagh wins the ball at the second attempt, manages to break there. Becky Bryant gets in and gets the interception, works it across towards Nicole Buckley. But again, there was a second move from the Limerick corner forward, was in absolute acres. If the pass went long instead of looking for Cavan in between, it was another one-on-one with the keeper. Ball forward towards Saoirse McGuinness. Saoirse McGuinness now holds up possession, gets it back towards Ellie McAvoy. Little dinked left-footed pass inside, really well done by Marie Byrne. Can she get her shot away? Comes into a little bit of heavy traffic, comes back towards McAvoy. McAvoy won't need to be asked twice. That's her 4th point of the game. With good combination play. I suppose the difference, Offaly forwards are linking up quite well, but just Limerick's defence aren't opening up the same level of space that the Offaly backs are.
No, they're not, and they're also not really taking their chances when they're on. I think when Offaly have the ball, they just look a little more dangerous up front. They're taking their chances, and yes, they probably have more wides at this stage, but it's kind of working in their favour. Limerick haven't had a whole lot of shots on for points either, so I think they just need to get settled, maybe find a little bit more room as well up there. It's fairly it's over carrying from Emma Hand. It's fairly packed, although it doesn't look it up there now, but the Offaly backs and midfielders are tracking back very quickly once the ball is turned over, so it is preventing those shots on points for Limerick.
Yeah, a little bit unlucky there. It was one of those kind of as I'd like to call them, they were sort of, it wasn't so much a free for overcarrying as a free for maggot acting. You had the chance to give it and you didn't. If she was being tackled, that's a very strong run from Rebecca DeLay. She gets the shot away, it's close, she's pushed it wide. The umpire had a little look to his umpire on the far side, who had absolutely nothing to do with it whatsoever, looking for moral support maybe, but either way, it's a 5th wide, and that's a poorly directed kick out. Offaly lucky to come away with that. Ooh, that's a high hit coming in there. Nicole Buckley is the Offaly player who goes to ground.
I don't think there was anything malicious or anything to it. I think Nicole Buckley was on her way down really after picking up the ball, so I don't think there was anything worthy of a yellow card.
Tackle came in. I think it's either Roisin Ambrose or Maeve McNamara, I'm not sure, but
she's up.
You'd give the benefit of the doubt, certainly, but as I often said, just because you didn't mean to clean me out doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt.
That's your junior B coming back.
Yeah, well, at junior B usually you do mean to clean somebody out. It's an awful lot easier than chasing them. Annie Keogh now carries the ball forward inside here towards Emma Hand, trying to work this ball in. Ciara Walsh now. Ciara Walsh holds up, decides that she's got to slow this up and Offaly try and rebuild. So yeah, Limerick keeping the defence very, very narrow, packing the central channel. Good link-up play with the Offaly forwards again. Back out towards Ellie McAvoy. Interchange of passes with Ciara Walsh. Maybe should have been Walsh's shot to take more so than McAvoy.
Too. Yeah, again, nearly too unselfish at times, Offaly. I think as well, Limerick are getting more players back. I think they've realised that they need to choke it up a little bit more, although I'm not happy to see Mairead Kavanagh down there. She's far more dangerous where she should be right now, but unfortunately she's behind in midfield. She should be in the forwards.
Good work here by Loretta Hanley. Quick interchange of passes with Katrina Davis. Hanley comes on it again. Pressure now coming in on the Offaly side, near trying to execute the interception on the hand pass. Limerick have it at the second attempt. Rebecca DeLay works it across. Referee playing an advantage. Mairead Kavanagh with the shot. She has the only scoring point so far, and eventually they decide the advantage doesn't accrue, and we're going to come back for the free.
Yeah, it's the last pass really for Limerick. It's just letting them down that little bit. They're nearly one pass too many.
is there a sense sometimes it's quite narrow on both sides? I mean, certainly you get the impression when the ball is going forward, there isn't really that sense. It's been an evolution in the men's game. You see the Ulster sides in particular, Armagh, Derry were huge at it this year, sort of hugging the touchline on both sides to keep it wide. And I noticed I was doing the Division 3 semi-finals in Parnell Park, and it was quite narrow in both cases.
Yeah, that's off the ground effort from Katrina Davis.
Could bounce anywhere. Mairead Kavanagh fighting for it in there.
Wide ball.
And wide ball. Offaly breathed slightly easier after that. Mairead Kavanagh, she got 2 goals against Leitrim, and that was exactly it. That was exactly the type of goal. She was just pouncing on breaking balls in around the square, and she nearly did it again there. That's Limerick's 6th wide so far of the game. Offaly pick out good kick out from Emer Evans, picks out a little bit of space and try and build it forward. Saoirse McGuinness now, but that's a poorly directed pass and well read on the Limerick side. Good interception by Maeve McNamara. Now the long ball across from Katrina Davis, from Iris Kennelly, looking for Katrina Davis, I should say.
Well read
really well done by Becky Bryant.
Very well read. Great defending. What you're saying there about the sidelines, I think if Limerick did adopt the hugging the sideline type of play, it would suit them, because when they come through the middle, there's no stopping them. So if they played a wide game and off the shoulder, that's what they're best at.
Becky Bryant tries to get the ball up forward, but she's all about the defensive cornerback play, not so much about the distribution. Long ball or sideline dinked into Mairead Kavanagh here now. Mairead Kavanagh takes a little toe tap solo, feeds it inside towards Roisin Ambrose. Ambrose outside of the boot, looking to try and connect. That should be Emer Nally's ball all day, and it is. Lays it off towards Annie Keogh. Bit sloppy work there now, and a chance for Limerick to intercept. And Leah Coughlin has picked it up again. Leah Coughlin has been hugely influential in this game, I think.
Yeah, she really has. She's been really defending very, very well, but more so she's been leading the opposition. She's taken some really strong runs through the middle, and it's created huge opportunities for Limerick.
Another chance for Limerick here now. It looks like Loretta Hanley was held up there, but possibly outside of scoring range, though Katrina Davis is going to come over and have a go at it. Hasn't been a good shoot. Katrina Davis started off, of course, with that early goal. I think she's responsible for 2 of Limerick's 6 wides, and of course that miss hit free. But this one on her preferred side, and sometimes even that little bit psychological boost of feeling that you're on the right side will stand to you.
Yeah, I was never one for taking frees off the ground. I don't know. I think it's more reliable out of your hands, but hopefully I have.
The older generation love it. They're very romantically attached to taking frees off the ground. That's definitely a much better strike than the previous one. It's going to drop short. Probably going to be a 45 there. I think it's off Emer Nally's hands. So that ball breaks out over the end line, and again probably out of range here now. So we stand over the 45. Katrina Davis going to take it again. She got much better purchase on the kick now and put it into a dangerous position. So again, if she does that, she probably won't be raising a white flag directly, but she could put under a bit of pressure, and again, sure enough, that's floated into a dangerous area. And there goes the hooter. So half-time whistle here. There is a single point between the sides. Limerick 3 goals and a point. Offaly 9 points. It's been a strange game. So, Orla, summarise it for me. Where do you feel we're at in the game? Who will be the happier side going into the break?
I think Offaly would probably be the happier side. I think Limerick will feel like they're just clinging on in, whereas Offaly have played quite good football. They've had more opportunities for point scoring. I feel the forwards are that little bit more tuned in maybe than the Limerick side. The last pass I feel is what's affecting Limerick, and if they can just get that right, it's going to be a serious second half.
Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you, there's plenty to look forward to. There's certainly nothing has been decided yet. We expected a tight game in this Little Ladies National Football League Division 4 final, and that's exactly what we're getting. Limerick have been clinical in front of goals when it comes to raising green flags, not so much when it comes to white flags, but they have the narrowest of advantages at half time as both sides head for the dressing rooms here at St Brendan's Park. We'll be right back with you in 10 minutes. Thanks for being with us here, and we hope to see you soon in about 10 minutes time for the second half of Limerick versus Offaly. Welcome back to St Brendan's Park in Burr. Both teams out here on the field, making their way back out. No sign of referee Mel Kenny just yet. Mount Bowles pipe band still giving it socks over at the far end of the field. I see one switch on the Limerick side. I see number 17, Katie Heelan, who of course has been in and out of the team. So she's come in. We'll have to identify who she's replacing. She looks like she's come into the half forward line. So we'll see the starting half forward line. Well, I know on paper it was Grania McKenna, Rebecca DeLay and Kathy Mee, but Grania McKenna moved into the full forward line and swept, so it may be the case she could be the one to make way.
Looks like Mairead Daly is in for Offaly as well, in place of, I think it's Saoirse McGuinness.
Absolutely, Mairead Daly coming in, of course, Mairead Daly, and we see a number 28 for Limerick as well. So number 28 for Limerick is Niamh Ryan. Be no huge... Niamh Ryan, of course, back from injury herself. So we'll have to ascertain who is replacing who in all of these. Niamh Ryan has gone in at centre back. Well, I have to say, I'd be stunned if Leah Coughlin made way. So it could be, but having said that now, I don't see her out there. Amy Ryan is actually the one that would make a little bit more sense, alright. Although Amy Ryan was doing alright as well, maybe not as involved in the game as you would have thought, but a more like-for-like substitution with Niamh Ryan coming in. So we're waiting here for Mel Kenny to get the ball underway. So
Annie Keogh is centre back now for Offaly on Mairead Kavanagh as well. Mairead Kavanagh's moved out to centre forward.
So a couple of changes all around, yeah. So I see Mairead Kavanagh is still there, Rebecca DeLay is still there, and Kathy Mee is still there. So I would imagine it's probably Grania McKenna in the inside line as the referee throws the ball in, and we are back underway here at St Brendan's Park. And just as she did in the first half, Roisin Ambrose wins the first ball and sets up an attack. It ended up with a Mairead Kavanagh point in the first half. This time it's laid off to Iris Kennelly. Iris Kennelly, she's forced out wide, but Limerick still have possession. Kathy Mee with the hand pass. Picked up off the ground at the second attempt. Well done by Katrina Davis. It's fed back out. Offaly have pressure. Michelle Mann tries to get in a tackle. Kathy Mee with the shot. And Limerick started the first half with a point. The second half they started with a wide.
Unlucky, it was a good effort.
It was a good effort, but it was the same move again. Roisin Ambrose straight in, wins the kick out and puts the team straight on the front foot. So Emer Evans now with the kick out. Finds a little bit of space. Annie Keogh is able to pick it up from her new position at centre back. Works it across to Emer Nally. That's gone off the outside of the boot. That's probably going to go out over the line before Fiona Dempsey can get there. And sure enough, it has. And Limerick have possession again with Maeve McNamara taking the sideline ball. McNamara floats that one up. I'll tell you, nobody would thank you for that ball.
No.
You get yourself cleaned out fairly quickly trying to compete for that one.
Well intercepted by Amy Gavin-Mangan, and a nice ball, or is it overcooked?
Overshot the pass to Emma Hand there, and again ball given back to Limerick. So Mairead Daly gone into the inside line, and straight away it looks like she's been picked up by Niamh Ryan. And again we have a turnover ball. This time it's Emma Maher who picks it up. The tackling comes in from Rebecca DeLay, and legal tackling, says Mel Kenny. It's going to be a turnover ball, and it's going to be a free to Limerick about 55 metres out from the goal.
I don't think Emma Ryan would say that was legal tackling, or Emma Maher.
Well, as I say, that's why players don't referee as well. It's Mel Kenny's decision in this instance. Has to be said, and that definitely was a contentious one. Rebecca DeLay takes it on again, and there's an advantage being played here, and I suspect we're going to come back for it. Emma Maher would certainly argue that she took as much physical contact as Rebecca DeLay did there, but
yeah, it was Emer Nally foul there. There was probably no need either, as she was a good bit out, but now it's going to be worked in, I'm sure, for a kickable free from Katrina Davis.
Absolutely. Katrina Davis stands over it here. She's still looking to put the ball on the deck. Well, her last two strikes were reasonably decent. They were outside of her range, but she put them where they needed to go. So you'd have to say this one should be a decent chance. As Limerick try and raise what would be just their second white flag of the afternoon.
There doesn't look like there's much of a wind out there, but I was just out at half time, and there actually is a bit of a breeze favouring Offaly now in the second half.
As that free gets chipped up, she doesn't have a huge amount to spare, but she puts it, it's accurate, it's where it needs to go. And Katrina Davis puts it between the posts, and Limerick take a 2-point lead. So a bit of a disjointed start to the second half. I think both teams already with 3 possessions so far, as that kick out finds Emma Maher, and she just needs to try and get the ball away. Maher floats that ball, looking for Fiona Dempsey. Can Dempsey get there? She can just about get there. Maeve
Great
McNamara
play.
puts the pressure on. Dempsey gets it at the second attempt, tries to step inside, looks to find Mairead Daly. It wasn't the pass. Emma Hand was inside. She was the much better delivery. And again, Limerick have won the turnover. Roisin Ambrose now. Roisin Ambrose steps inside, tries to connect with Katie Heelan, but that's not the kind of first touch you want if you're just on the field. Dodgy hand pass, struggles to control it. Amy Gavin Mangan comes in, lovely injection of pace, steps inside. Gavin Mangan looks for the goal herself, looks to shoot, second attempt. Oh, the effort from Ciara Walsh, blasted over the bar. It was a glorious goal scoring opportunity. Wonderful work from Amy Gavin Mangan, and we can't put a tooth in it. She's got to finish that, really.
Yeah, it was fantastic work from Ellie McAvoy in the first place to work her way across. Quick hand pass to Amy Gavin Mangan, who tore up 45 metres. And Ciara Walsh, I know she pulled on it, which is probably the right thing to do, but she probably had time to take it up into her hands and finish it off neatly.
So Limerick win the kick out. Roisin Ambrose again coming into this game in a big way. Feeds the ball forward towards Katie Heelan. There's much more the type of possession she wants. Heelan gives it back towards Ambrose. Ambrose, and I was about to say that was very much looked like a charge.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I think
well
that was
done,
experience by Emer Nally there.
well done by Emer Nally. She put her hands wide and made it clear she wasn't making any. Oh, that pass from Amy Gavin Mangan possibly gone astray. Chasing it down is Ciara Walsh, won't get there in time, and it goes out over the sideline under the shadow of the stand. So very, very disjointed stuff so far. Like, you know, you'd say there's been broken play, there's been an awful lot of turnovers, passes not going where they need to be. Team, maybe a function of a lot of substitutions, new personnel.
Yeah, could be, yeah, that they just kind of need to settle a small bit. And I think having Mairead Daly in full forward, or in around the full forward line, you nearly feel like you have to pass it to her, you know, as well.
No,
Which
she's running off the shoulder here. Oh, Fiona Dempsey just can't quite retain control. She was thinking ahead to what she was going to do with the ball before she actually secured control, and Limerick come out with it again. Maeve McNamara has been heavily involved in this second half so far. McNamara wins the free for the tackle from Emma Hand, gets it inside towards Roisin Ambrose. Ambrose now drives forward at pace. Gavin Mangan tracks back.
Great tackle by Amy Gavin Mangan on Roisin Ambrose.
Ambrose still has possession. Referee has sounded his whistle. It's not entirely clear what he's given. He's given the free in to the Old Mill player and the Limerick captain.
Similar distance as her last free now for Katrina Davis, maybe a little bit further out.
Yeah, it's about 3 or 4 yards further out, and the last time 3 or 4 yards would have made a difference.
Yeah,
so
these are the ones that can scare a goalie sometimes too.
Single point between the teams. 6 minutes into the second half. Katrina Davis, she got a goal very, very early in the match, and followed that up with her second point. This is a much cleaner looking strike, but it might be that she pulled it wide. She certainly had the distance that time. She had plenty more distance, but has pulled it wide of the target. Emer Evans looking for the quick kick out. That option wasn't on. Goes straight to a Limerick player. It's Katie Heelan. Feeds that ball inside. Another chance for Limerick.
Important interception there by Emer Nally.
Huge interception by Emer Nally, and does well to get the ball away to Michelle Mann. There's a chance for Offaly to break here now if they can work the ball out. Fiona Dempsey nearly over carries, just about get the hand pass away. Works it out here towards Annie Keogh. Annie Keogh now looking up to see her options. Feeds again the hand pass forward towards Emma Hand. Emma Hand looks to step inside. 1 point to her name from a free so far, and that was absolutely a charge. She jumped into the tackle and made the decision very, very easy for the Mayo referee.
I think Offaly need to work it a bit quicker. They're slowing up the ball into the full
There was a
forward
bit of
line.
hesitation in that, all right. There wasn't that sense of kind of go for blood that you see in the Limerick attack. I mean, in the first half you saw Limerick, they were attacking at pure speed. Okay, they messed up 1 or 2, but it also meant that if the pass went where it needed to go, the goal chance was on.
Yeah, absolutely. They are dangerous. Oh,
Roisin Ambrose with the long ball. Oh, great hands from Mairead Kavanagh. That's exactly the kind of pass she wants. Feeds it inside. Chance now for Iris Kennelly. Iris Kennelly with the shot straight between the posts. And it just shows the value of a little bit of physical presence there. Mairead Kavanagh won that ball so well.
And I feel like that's one of their strengths that they could be doing more often. Keep Mairead Kavanagh in full forward, give her a high ball. She's so dangerous, she's so strong.
And she's after winning it. She's a little bit
A little
unlucky
too
there
strong
now,
there.
That's exactly it. Like, that's the classic thing. It looked like she was just competing for the ball and going in for it. And
Iris Kennelly did well there for the pass as well, because Mairead slightly overcooked it to her, but she did well to grab it back and swing it over on her right. Great score.
still 2 points between the teams. You get the sense though, like there's plenty more goals in this game. It's unlikely to finish with just the 3 that we've had so far, as we have another injury stoppage here for Imernally again.
Offaly have really had only the 1 goal chance though. Up front, you'd have to say Limerick look that bit more dangerous.
Oh, there's no
Hitting
question
the back of the net.
that has been their modus operandi, absolutely carrying the ball through. As Offaly stand over Imernally. She has done well so far, but that looked a bit more of a severe hit in the first half. The first half, I think she was just a little bit groggy when she went down, but
yeah,
that looked a bit more like it rattled her. Good ball forward. Fiona Dempsey has been involved so far. Tries to step inside Maeve McNamara, but there's not a lot of space there. She's under a bit of pressure. Does well to get the hand pass away towards Annie Keogh. Annie Keogh now, again, looking up to see what options she has. The running is not really cohesive. There's a lot of running towards the player with the ball instead of into space. Emma Hand floats that one up. Well done again, Fiona Dempsey, and she's being pulled back there. No advantage being given. Dempsey gets it away towards Emma Hand. Ellie McAvoy now, she's on her left foot, will probably look, try and get the hand pass. Good chance. Emma Hand comes onto it again. Hand with the left foot. She likes it, she likes it. Why wouldn't she like it? It's straight between the posts, and again we're back down to a single point.
Great point off her left.
Sophie Hennessy looks up at the options here now as we watch a replay of that good left-footed strike. Hennessy picks out Sarah O'Sullivan. Sarah O'Sullivan suddenly turns, gets inside Mairead Daly and Ellie McAvoy all in one movement. Roisin Ambrose with the left-footed pass. That's a contested pass. It could go to anyone. Iris Kennelly fighting for it there. Annie Keogh trying to get in for Offaly, but Mairead Cavan is the player who comes away with it. Kavanagh feeds the ball out to Kennelly. Kennelly looking to try and show a clean pair of heels to Nicole Buckley. Hand pass over the top. It's another Limerick goal chance here. Loretta Hanley is in. Loretta Hanley, oh, brilliant block. Emer Nally did
Loretta
really
Hanley
well
calling
there.
for a foul there, but I genuinely think that was a very, very important and a very good tackle by Imernally.
Yeah, no, I have to say, no, there was plenty of decisions, certainly in the first half, where I thought Offaly maybe got the benefit of the doubt. A couple of them maybe have gone the other way, not as many in the second half for Limerick, but that one to me looked a good no call, if you like, from Mel Kenny, as Mairead Daly gets her first good possession, feeds the ball inside towards Ellie McAvoy. Ellie now, she'll probably look to come back onto her right foot, instead steps inwards, hand pass across, goal chance for Offaly. Emma Hand now trying to get the shot away, did it cross the line, the two umpires talk to each other, the two umpires decide it's gone over the line. Emma Hand with the goal. Offaly have got their first green flag of the afternoon. We're going to look at this one again, but it was good combination play with Mairead Daly. Eventually, Ellie McAvoy got the ball inside. Left-footed shot from Emma Hand. It was hard to tell, and you'd have to say the umpire on the right-hand side,
he didn't know he was
very behind. He was standing at the back, stanchion. So it did well to get the shot away. I have to say now, looking at that replay there, it looks definitely unlucky from a Limerick point of view.
It does. It looks like the
now the umpire
on
at
the
this
left,
near,
he looked like he was fairly certain about it.
Yeah, now the umpire on this near side was standing on the goal line, but either way it's a very consequential score, and Offaly are in front for the first time since the first half, when they scored that 7 points in a row to go 7 points to 1-1. Offaly again winning the turnover there. Amy Gavin Mangan does really, really well to dispossess Leah Coughlin.
I actually thought that was going to be a throw ball down here at the far end before the goal, Mairead Daly to Ellie McAvoy. I think she was very, very lucky, but
there's a theory that players that are known to be very good players get away with things like that. There actually is a scientific study on that in America. They did it in basketball. And the idea is that if the referee thinks a Michael Jordan has committed a foul, they say, it's Michael Jordan. He wouldn't do that. He probably did something so quick that I didn't see it.
You're comparing Michael Jordan and Mairead Daly.
Absolutely. Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't? I never thought I'd talk up a Cloughan person that much, but there you go. Offaly on the attack again. Inside here now towards Ciara Walsh. Walsh to Ellie McAvoy, tries to get the hand pass away. It's a high floated hand pass to Daly here now. Manages to just about get her hand pass away to Dempsey. It's so tight, it's so congested, and that's fortunate enough to win a free there. I have to say now, I can honestly say I didn't see a whole lot wrong with that.
No, I'd feel aggrieved too if I were the Limerick defence there with that one.
So it'd be a good shot for the left-footed kicker, and certainly Emma Hand, she has 1-2 to her name now at this stage. Point from a free, point from a play, and that goal. We've had two contentious goals in the game. We've had the Iris Kennelly one that was punched over the line. the dispute over a square ball. I have to say, I would agree that one was probably the right decision to give it. And the two umpires were there, and that one has been hooked wide of the target. That's a first wide of the second half. And Offaly's lead remains at 2 points. I see what you mean about the wind picking up.
Yeah.
Even just in terms of the flags and everything, it's a lot fresher than it was.
And the woolly hats in front of us, they're all blown to one side.
There you go.
There's a great battle going on just under us here too, between Fiona Dempsey and Maeve McNamara. Maeve McNamara, I think Maeve gotten the better of her in the first half, but Fiona Dempsey's doing some great work down here along the sideline this second half.
She really is. Roisin Ennis, after winning another kick out, you wouldn't have imagined Roisin Ennis would be the kick out target, but the hand pass goes astray and Offaly can't control it, and now Limerick come forward on the break. Ennis chasing down. Hand pass comes inside towards Mairead Kavanagh. She'd look to give it off towards Roisin Ambrose. Ambrose steps inside. Goal chance for Roisin Ambrose, just over the bar. It was really quick hands.
Could have
really
given that
well
off
done.
left or right and would have been a goal back of the net. Katrina Davis and Iris Kennelly were either side of her
She
there.
had the two corner forwards, absolutely. Now, having said that, I don't know that I have a huge problem with going for the shot.
I definitely don't either, because it's sometimes they could be too unselfish, but
and she had the central position, but yeah, no, definitely
Iris Kennelly in particular
Iris
on the
Kennelly,
left.
yeah, on that side, absolutely would have opened it up. Long ball forward from Offaly here now, looking for Marie Byrne. Marie Byrne does really well, gets the ball back inside. Now, chance for Offaly to attack again.
Left.
Oh, lovely sidestep inside. Player coming on at pace.
Fantastic.
Lovely finish. Fantastic finish.
Ciara Walsh, was it?
Ciara Walsh,
Yeah.
it was, yeah. It took me a second there to identify.
Fantastic running off the
Great
shoulder.
hands coming inside, fed into Ciara Walsh, right-footed shot, and that's an inch perfect finish right into the corner.
That was a fantastic, really, really well worked team goal.
Marie Byrne did well in the corner. There was a lot of strong aspects to that. As Limerick break on the attack now, Rebecca DeLay has been very, very strong runner here. Ball inside towards Loretta Hanley. DeLay takes it back at a second attempt. Again, you can see Limerick are looking for the goals here. The point chance was on. Mairead Kavanagh hits the deck, and that's a tough call. She was on the ground. How do you take steps when you're on your knees?
Yeah, very, very harsh, and you can see by her that just has really, really frustrated her, especially at this juncture of the match as well. It could have been a goal down Limerick side, and Offaly come up and fire one in the back of the net. That's a very, very harsh call, I think, on Mairead Kavanagh.
Absolutely, no. I have to say, no. All local affinities aside, that was a tough call now.
Yeah.
And as you say, like, you look at the key swing moments. You have Roisin Ambrose goal chance at one end, fizzed over the bar. Could have been a pass. She could have kept the shot an inch lower.
Yeah.
Would have made all the difference. Suddenly Offaly come up with 2 goals, one of which is contentious. So it's a game that has swung Offaly's way, but as we've seen in the first half, it could swing back just as handily.
Yeah.
Emma Hand takes possession now. Offaly suddenly, you have to say again, Mairead Daly, she's just added something to the attack. Good
gives the
interchange of
balls,
passes with McAvoy. She's looking to give it again. Back towards McAvoy. Left-footed shot from McAvoy. Top corner of the net. And there you go. Ellie McAvoy finds the top corner, and suddenly we have a 7-point game here. I really didn't see that coming.
I know. I think Nicole Buckley did fierce well there too. She came up from the corner, and it's a serious, well-worked team goal as well from Nicole Buckley. Fiona Dempsey again getting her hands on the ball, and Mairead Daly as well. Straight to Ellie McAvoy with an absolute dinger into the top left-hand corner with her left foot.
You're standing up for there now after I've been highlighting the fact that she's been looking to get onto her right for her shooting. But, from close range, it's a little bit different. Yeah, but it really is. It just shows like it's those fine margins. I mean, like that still went in. It another 2 feet and it was gone over the bar. 2 feet for Roisin Ambrose shot and it goes under the bar.
Yeah,
and you have a big swing. Like
that's it. Yeah, that was a huge quarter there now for Offaly, and I'm sure Brian and Danny would have highlighted that at half time too. That this 15 minutes was one of the most crucial that would take place in the game. So what's in it now?
7-point lead at the
7
moment
points.
as we look again at Ellie McAvoy's stunning finish. There really was
Fantastic
nothing.
finish.
There was nothing to spare there.
No, there wasn't. And you know, Mairead was kind of short of options, and she just saw Ellie coming off the shoulder. It was perfect, quick hand pass. Mairead's been involved in the 2 goals as well.
Well, this is it. It was the same against Leitrim. I think Mairead only had a point to her name herself. And sure enough here, she hasn't actually scored herself, but like you can see the transformative effect in the attack.
Yeah, look, she has serious depth in experience. She won the All-Ireland in 2013 and she was only 17 years of age, 18, and she got Junior Player of the Year that year too. So she had it when she was 17, so she's well used to these high pressure moments.
So as I look out there now, it looks like all the same numbers on the jersey from an Offaly point of view. Mairead's is the only one above 15.
You know, Marie Byrne and Ciara Walsh, the two Offaly corner forwards, have been quiet, but have also contributed.
Oh, absolutely. Well,
charmingly as well.
They haven't taken a huge amount. They haven't taken a huge amount of shots on goal, but like Marie Byrne was heavily involved in that. In the second last goal, and has a point to her name. Like, I mean, and Ciara Walsh, you'd say she hasn't done an awful lot in terms of handling the ball, but she has 1-2 to her name.
And I think that's the difference really between the two attacks. Limerick are very heavily reliant on Mairead Kavanagh and Katrina Davis. You know, Iris Kennelly is getting well marshalled there by Nicole Buckley too. Becky Bryant's doing a fantastic job too, it has to be said, on Katrina Davis, who is such a fantastic player. So there probably is that little bit of difference between the two attacks.
Well, certainly I would argue that, like, to me, a big difference as well. Kathy Mee was a huge factor in the game in the first 10 minutes.
She was, yeah.
And Roisin Ennis has completely got on top of that personal battle.
Yeah, she really has. There's a few very good individual battles going on throughout. The two midfielders as well for Limerick are so strong. Loretta Hanley and Roisin Ambrose running directly on the ball. Oof.
Ellie McAvoy takes a good hit there, feeds that ball forward. Ciara Walsh is in possession now again. Ciara Walsh looks to step inside. Low shot, breaks off a Limerick defender, and it looks like it might skid out for a 45, and sure enough it does. But Ellie McAvoy did really well to take the hit there.
She did. She's feeling the brunt of it too. I think she might need some attention. She's put in a huge shift today, Ellie. Absolutely. She's worked very, very hard.
Well, there you go, 1-4 all from play for Ellie so far. As Limerick, yeah, I think it's definitely, as that 45 is taken quickly, chipped up towards Mairead Daly. Good hand pass inside. Good chance here for Fiona Dempsey. Looks to curl it in, but drops it a little bit short. Oh, blocked down from McAvoy. Blocks Sophie Hennessy's clearance. McAvoy feeds that inside. Tries to connect with Marie Byrne. Laid back outside. McAvoy has it at the second attempt. High tackle, referee says no. Instead the shot comes in from Ciara Walsh and doesn't grab hold of it. So 2 shots picked up by Sophie Hennessy in the Limerick goal. Limerick try and work it out. Emma Hand almost gets the interception on Loretta Hanley. Instead Limerick coming out again. Chance here now for Niamh Ryan to try and get herself into the game. Hasn't really been as much of a feature since coming in. Mairead Daly picks up the loose ball though. Good ball across towards McAvoy. Sarah O'Sullivan backs off her, so McAvoy could cut back and shoot if she wants to. McAvoy comes back outside. She's facing the wrong way now at this stage. Has Marie Byrne for support on her left side. Goes back outside towards Byrne. Byrne spreads it across. Chance now for Fiona Dempsey. Fiona Dempsey, she might get ambushed from behind, but just about at the last minute heard Sarah O'Sullivan coming running in. The high shot this time from Dempsey. That could go, drop short again. Well done by the keeper. Handled it, I have to say. I wouldn't fancy that one now looking up because the sun was right in the goalkeeper's eyes, so that wasn't an easy one to gather.
Yeah, Limerick have a huge amount now in defence. You can see it's 6v3 really in their forward line. 6 Offaly, that is, and 3 Limerick, so they have a lot of work to do. That was great work there by Iris Kennelly. Iris
Kennelly got out in front and won that ball well, but her pass wasn't good, and that was clever play from Ciara Walsh. Decided I have an easy option to break it down. Good interplay between Roisin Ennis and Amy Gavin Mangan. Ennis now takes the ball up, long floated ball. She's looking for Marie Byrne. Marie Byrne gets out and wins it well. She's got Marie Byrne steps inside. Byrne, good block down, really excellent block down by Niamh Ryan. Got her hands high, stood in the right position and saved a score for Limerick. Limerick now try and break out. Hand pass inside, coming towards Loretta Hanley. Hanley, good ball inside again. Roisin Ambrose still full of run and still very, very dangerous on the ball, and that's a good hand pass, and suddenly the Offaly defence is opened up again. Emer Nally comes out trying to meet Kathy Mee. The ball is inside towards Mairead Kavanagh. Kavanagh now, will she take the shot herself? Decides not to. Again Limerick looking for the goal. Iris Kennelly with the shot. It's going to break at the far post. Kathy Mee, unlucky from the Offaly goalie's point of view. You have to say, Emer Evans, she came out, she blocked it at the first attempt, and just the rebound ran kindly for the Limerick corner forward, and suddenly, or the Limerick wing forward I should say, and Kathy Mee, we were talking about how she's gone out of the game.
It was the rebound really off of Emer Evans, hit back off Kathy Mee and back into the net.
She didn't know an awful lot about her. It's just one of those, I suppose, the old adage, put yourself in the right place.
Yeah, exactly. It was great work by Iris Kennelly too. She kind of was turning as she caught it, so she had the step on her defender. Great play.
So Limerick now, they suddenly have a little bit of momentum again. Christine Reedy carries the ball forward, tries to get the hand pass away. Referee was playing advantage, so even though Amy Gavin Mangan knocked it down into Fiona Dempsey, it's going to be a Limerick free just about at midfield, just outside the 65-metre line. This is a crucial phase of the game now, just under 10 minutes to go. If Limerick can get back on the front foot, that's not a good delivery at all from Roisin Ambrose. And Emer Nally is able to gather that easily and come walking out with it and find Fiona Dempsey. Mairead Daly is an absolute acres here if Offaly can get the ball forward to her. Michelle Mann gets that hand pass away. Limerick now, ball back towards Dempsey. Now she finds Daly. Oh, hand pass a little bit loose, not particularly accurate. Daly is lucky enough to get it at the second attempt. Daly turns inside, feeds it back towards Ellie McAvoy. McAvoy, quick narrow toe tap, trying to make sure it doesn't get the call. The pressure's coming on from Maeve O'Halloran. McAvoy, the hand pass goes away. I'm not sure if that was the intended target, but either way she's got it again. Chance for Mairead Daly now. Daly give and go as she does so many times. Takes it the second attempt. Maeve McNamara with the tackle. I'm not sure what he's given there. I think maybe was there an advantage being played? I'd be lying if I said I saw an infringement on either side.
Pull, I think it was on Mairead Daly, but like that, it's just the 1-2 that she gives real quick, and just when you have that momentum, any sort of a tackle, whether it's legal or not, it just looks like a foul. Again, great play from Mairead Daly, but also a bit frustrating for Limerick.
So another substitute on the Limerick side here, and it's number 20, Anna O'Dea, who's going to come into the team, and she's going to replace Loretta Hanley. You'd have to say Loretta Hanley, she was very influential in the early stages, has gone out of a little bit. So, and there's also a change in the full back line as number 21 Rebecca Daly comes in, and she's going to replace number 3 Sarah O'Sullivan.
Yeah, we've two sets of very strong midfielders, but you'd nearly say they've negated each other. They've kind of both played well and both marked each other well.
And there's a switch on the Offaly side as well, as number 20 comes into the Offaly team. That's Roisin Mealiff, and Roisin Mealiff is replacing Fiona Dempsey. Now I have to say Fiona Dempsey was going well. That's very much a that's a very poor free kick from Emma Hand as it goes across the goal, and she was taking it from the wrong place anyway, so it's going to be a free out. But
I don't think I've ever seen that called. Thank God he's never reffed any of my matches.
That was so we have the admission from Orla Heavey there that she steals yards with every free kick.
Look,
and
you have to be cute about it.
Doesn't want that to be whistled. So we can only hope there's no Galway club referees tuned in here, as we have another substitution on the Offaly side, and it's number 17 Dawn Hannon, your club colleague, coming in.
Yep.
She replaces Becky Bryant in the back line, and
Becky Bryant's had a fantastic game. Played fierce well. So yeah, Dawn Hannon coming in very strong as well, so I'm sure much the same.
Exactly. Solid defensive presence, knows the right thing to do on the ball, very experienced player as well. As Offaly win that possession from the kick out, Nicole Buckley manages to feed the ball away. Mairead Daly here, darting through tackles, seeing gaps where gaps don't exist, but still manages to retain possession and gets it off towards Amy Gavin Mangan. Emma Maher, it opens up for her a little bit. She dinks the ball inside. First touch now for Roisin Mealiff. Roisin Mealiff looks up, looks at her options, goes back towards Ellie McAvoy. Ball swung out here. Again, it's all very narrow. You get the sense that just they need to take a shot here. Roisin Mealiff dragged to the ground. That one was a fairly clear call. We've had a few contentious decisions in the last while, but I don't think there'll be too much argument over that one.
No, there's probably no need either, because she wasn't going to shoot at the same time. Ellie McAvoy's taking this one by the looks of it.
Yeah.
She takes a quick.
Decides to go short, working it back towards Mairead Daly. Kind of a strange option there now. You probably felt that she would have had the range.
I thought she would have too.
Daly steps inside. Quick one, exchange of passes again. She looks like she's going to get mugged every single time. That's a fantastic block down by Maeve McNamara. And the pieces are picked up by Kathy Mee there. So Offaly had a good chance to try and kick a score there, didn't take it. Limerick will feel they're being left in this game to a certain extent, because even since the Limerick goal, they haven't had an awful lot of chances. Offaly have had more of the play, but they haven't put the scores on the board.
Yeah, for sure. I thought Mairead Daly probably could have kicked that maybe a little bit earlier. She was trying to work it potentially into a goal scoring position to make themselves that bit more comfortable. But yeah, it's not really time to be playing around either, because we know what Limerick are like when it comes to goals.
Well, absolutely. The goal threat remains. They have 4 in the game so far. They had 3 in the first half, 1 in the second half. That score from Kathy Mead that has brought them back into a match when it looked like Offaly were in a good position. And Limerick still in with a chance here. Niamh Ryan feeds that ball forward. We have 4 minutes of normal time to play, plus whatever Mel Kenny decides to add on. Roisin Ambrose takes it forward now. Ambrose, she's carried a world of ball. Good feed inside. First touch for Anode, but not a good touch for Anode, it has to be said. She spills that hand pass, and Offaly have a chance with a turnover. Amy Gavin Mangan now on the ball. Again, the cameras don't show it, but we've a really, really good crowd out here. Terrace is almost full.
Yeah.
It's great to see. Oh, poor hand pass. Rebecca DeLay goes in, intercepts Amy Gavin Mangan's hand pass. Advantage being played, and
Great
Gavin
tackle.
Mangan tackles at the second attempt.
She probably fouled her before that. I thought that was actually a good tackle.
That one was. Well, now he's bringing it back to a little bit further out as well. So but it has to be said, it was one of those. I think we've all been in that situation. You give a horrendous pass and you kind of feel like you have to do something to make up for it.
And you know, it's not the worst place to give away a free either.
Yeah, well, the only thing is I would say is the last free from Katrina Davis, she didn't have the accuracy, but she had the distance from a similar position to this. So
Went to the left.
now that's not a particularly good strike, but it could go anywhere, and it's well gathered up by Roisin Ennis. Good clearance there by the Offaly captain, and that's a lovely ball out. Oh, that's really good distribution. Finds Ciara Walsh. Offaly with a chance to break out now. They could get another score, would go a long way here as Michelle Mann carries that ball forward. Now Roisin Mealiff with another chance. She's had 1 possession already. Looks to step inside. That's a lovely little jink from the Balnamere Doro player, but she's under a lot of pressure. A little bit of a push in the back, I think.
I thought she'd overcarried it.
Yeah, I think there was a little bit of a nudge in the back, maybe.
Oh no, now he's changing it to overcarrying. Oh no.
I think no,
Sub.
that's his signal
Okay.
for for substitution.
Well, Curtin.
So number 22 for Limerick, Noelle Curtin, comes into the game, and she replaces Maeve O'Halloran in the back line. Strange, maybe we've replacing the full back line at this stage in the game when that's not really where the issue is for Limerick.
Yeah, I would think so. It's like when you're losing a match by 40 points and you take off the corner forward.
Oh, that's an established GA tradition a long time. When I saw that
outside of the boot.
poor
Hard
effort
luck.
from Ellie there, outside of the boot, as you say. When I saw that in full effect, I was playing a match with Round Towers in London, and I was atrocious, absolutely dreadful. But I was playing it wing forward, and they actually moved me into corner forward for 2 minutes.
To take you off.
I didn't before they could take me off. It was like I had to be a corner forward before they could take me off. They successfully identified that I needed to be removed from the field, but at the same time there was that thing. Now, and like I didn't have a chance to in effect play whatsoever from the corner in that 2 minutes. But there was that quick swap. Okay, you're going into the corner, and then you know the curly finger's coming fairly soon once that switch has been made. Offaly carrying it forward with Marie Byrne now. We'll go back to people who actually can play football. Amy Gavin Mangan takes that layoff from Mairead Daly. Oh, it doesn't catch hold of that shot. Limerick gather it on the goal line, and they walk the ball out here. Good, strong clearance out of defence. Oh, really well done, Mairead Daly.
Pockets.
Fantastic stuff. Picked the pocket of Anne O'Dea there, and Offaly in possession again. Ball inside towards Ellie McAvoy. McAvoy now holding it up a little bit, back outside towards Emma Hand.
Yeah, you just feel Offaly are in control, really, aren't they?
They're in control, but just still not putting scores on the board, and haven't actually scored for quite a while now at this stage. Haven't scored in this quarter yet, actually. Emma Hand with the ball now. There's probably a psychological element to that too, a little bit of kind of what we have, we hold sort of thing as we tick on into injury time here. Roisin Ennis decides to inject a little bit of urgency on it, and the rest of her colleagues go, no, do you know what, we're going to continue to wind the clock down here. So Ennis decides, okay, that's what we're going to do, and she decides to go sideways. We talked earlier about frees being kicked off the ground. The same old lads who like the frees being kicked off the ground, they wouldn't be enjoying this stuff either now.
Not. My dad had as much this time. He's not a bit happy. Kick it in.
Push up, Roisin! Push on again, Roisin!
Kick it in, give it long, some variant thereof. Murray Daly again.
That's
Oh
free.
yeah, I think, well, that's definitely infringement, all right.
Again, that bit of experience to take the ball on, goes through a gap where there was no gap. She knew she was going to be fouled.
As we're signalling for another substitution here, and this one is on the Offaly side.
It's like Nicole Farley.
Nicole Farley is coming in, another player who would have been part of your side 7 years ago.
She would have been, yeah. Very experienced player as well. I don't know, she's going into the forwards there now. I don't think she'd be too happy with that. She's actually going in, looks like corner forward for Marie Byrne, I think.
Yeah, it's Marie Byrne who's made way as Murray Daly dinks that free towards McAvoy. I'd say it's very much about like that, protecting the ball,
Yeah.
protecting
Fresh
possession.
legs.
And here's the first touch for the Eden Derry player, feeds it back inside, and now Michelle Mann takes possession. You have to say Offaly have I deserve that.
Yeah.
I deserve that. I was going to say they
Commentator's
have
curse.
controlled possession quite well, and then Emma Maher gives that very, very poor pass. Limerick now with a chance to go for the breakaway. Rebecca DeLay is in loads of space if Kathy Mee can find her. Mee instead decides she's going to hold up the ball, looking up at her options. Goes inside, it's Katrina Davis who's there in possession. Davis floats that one up high, but there's no Offaly player there to put pressure on Christine Reedy, and even though she spills it, they win at the second attempt. Limerick now coming forward, trying to find Maeve McNamara, but the hand pass is sloppy. Chance there, Michelle Mann wins it well for Offaly, and well done Offaly, clear that ball out. Mann now has, or Nicole Buckley I should say, has acres. Murray Daly dinks that ball up. Now here's the chance for Nicole Farley's fresh legs, and that's a good ball inside. Roisin Mealiff is there, it's one-on-one inside. Mealiff, if she can get her shot away, good pressure from the Limerick backs, you'd have to say. They've suddenly got 4 bodies around. Mealiff gets her shot away, it's on target, and that's a huge score. A huge score from the young Balnamere Doro player, and you get the sense that might be the clinching score that makes all the difference here. A goal and a point, you get the sense now Limerick probably need 2 scores and they need 2 goals at this stage.
Yeah.
They're going to get a little bit more time to play. Niamh Ryan carries that ball out. Ryan feeds it on towards Roisin Ambrose. Rebecca DeLay again. DeLay straight hard running through the middle. Ellie McAvoy tries to drag her down, and they decide, okay, that's a strange situation for a final whistle, but it's still a final whistle. And look, there was 5 points in it at the end. You don't usually get it in an attack like that. They won't mind. Probably fair to say that in terms of game management, Offaly controlled that in the last quarter without doing a lot of damage on the scoreboard. Mealiff's was the only point in that quarter, but they did what they needed to do.
Absolutely. The third quarter was the most important, and Offaly got the two important goals. 2 or 3?
They got 3 in the third quarter.
In the third quarter. Like, that was the changing of the game, really. The Roisin Ambrose shot going short, or going over the bar, which could have been a goal, and then Offaly turning around and getting 3 goals down the far side. And really all they had to do was grind it out. It was a really entertaining game, lots of good scores, but overall, like 15 scores to 8, I do think Offaly were deserving winners.
Well, we actually said that at the start. We talked about the round robin game between the two. It was 7 scores each, and we were saying, look, 7 scores won't cut it today. 7 didn't.
No.
8 didn't either.
Yeah, even though 3 of them were goals, 4 of them were goals, in fact. Yeah, no, look, I think Offaly just in attack were that little bit more sharp. I think the last pass that went for Limerick every so often just didn't work. It broke down, and it was the making of Offaly was in their attack, I think.
Absolutely. So look, that's the end of the action here this afternoon from the Lidl Ladies National Football League Division 4 final. So that's, as they say, that we're waiting now for the presentations for both sides.
If you were to pick player of the match, who would you give it to?
I have to say it's a close one when you come to player of the match. Look, you're the expert. You're the one who's played at a decent level, so I would certainly defer to your superior judgment. I have what I'm going to do now is I'm going to draw a line under two names.
Okay.
And you can tell me which ones you come up with.
Okay, so I have circled Ellie McAvoy and Roisin Ennis as my 2, and you've done the exact same.
There you go. And I have to say, not because I like to go against the free scoring forward or anything like that, but I do think that, like, for Roisin Ennis to have such an impact under the kick out, that changed what Limerick were trying to do. because it took that long restart out of their game a little bit, and that to me was a big factor in the game.
Yeah, it definitely was. No, she had a fantastic game. But just to be the forward advocate, I'm just going to say for Ellie McAvoy, I thought she had a fantastic game from the very start when Offaly were a bit rattled in the very first couple of minutes after Limerick had scored their goal. I think Ellie really settled them, and I think she benefited then from having the more experienced Mairead Daly and things like that around her in the second half, and she just flourished even more. So we'll let the experts decide. They might not even choose either of the girls.
This is true. This is true. So yeah, really enjoyable encounter. Of course, it creates a huge sense of momentum. I mean, let's be realistic about it. Intermediate championship is usually decided by Division 2 teams, are the ones at the business end of it. So championship was always going to be a huge ask for Offaly. This was the silverware that was there to be won, really.
Yeah, it's like the lads, really. Do you know, I was listening to Anton Sullivan speaking as well about the league, and he was kind of saying that's their championship because they're playing teams that are very similar to them. But I don't know, intermediate championship for Offaly, we're like yo-yos, really. We're up and down, and we do really well, and then we're avoiding relegation and things like that. So we just about managed to stay up in intermediate championship. But I do think the potential is there. There's some fantastic young girls there that I've only seen really for the first time today that are so impressive. The likes of Becky Bryan from Tullamore is brilliant, Nicole Buckley, Fiona Dempsey's super. Saoirse McGuinness played in an All-Ireland final yesterday with her school, so absolute credit to her for even being able to tug out today. So there's loads and loads of potential there, mixed in with the experience of Ellie McAvoy, Mairead Daly, Emma Maher, Amy Gavin-Mangan. They're a fantastic mix of girls, so please God this year is the year that they'll be able to really make an impact on the intermediate championship.
And of course it's a very different perspective for Limerick because they're the other way around. Obviously, they put themselves in with the right shout in Division 4 and were fully entitled to say it was there to be won for them. On the other hand, they're going into an All-Ireland Junior Championship where they'll rightly feel like they're front runners.
Yeah, and they are, as you can see, from what we saw today, they're a fantastic group of girls as well. They have huge depth and talent with Iris Kennelly, Mairead Kavanagh, Katrina Davis in the full forward line alone, with strength in numbers. With Leah Coughlin had a fantastic game today, Loretta Hanley, Maeve McNamara. So they are probably going into a championship where they'll feel maybe more confident than Offaly despite losing the league final. So it'll be interesting to see how everything turns out.
Absolutely. So we're going to break now and we're going to go over to the presentations fairly shortly. The presentations in this occasion being made of the Uachtaráin of the LGFA, Micheál Naughton, is going to be looking after the presentations here and of course it'll be Offaly captain Roisin Ennis who'll be stepping in to receive the trophy. So really enjoyable afternoon's football here as hopefully we'll see a lot of you back for the game between Roscommon and Wexford, so we're hoping that a few people will come back for the game between Roscommon and Wexford. If not, thanks for joining us here this afternoon. My thanks to my co-commentator Orla Heavey for providing some actual footballing knowledge as opposed to my Junior B knowledge, and of course to all the people involved in MacAV, to Lidl for their fantastic sponsorship of the Ladies National Football League and for several different aspects of Irish grassroots sport. They've been a huge addition to the local Irish sporting scene, and we're very delighted to have them on board here with this LGFA competition. And of course, most of all to yourselves for tuning in, provided of course you're not tuning in on a dodgy box or anything like that, then we slap you on the wrist. We don't approve of that sort of behaviour. But overall, thanks for joining us. Hopefully we'll see some of you back here, and you'll have to listen to me all over again for Roscommon against Wexford in the Lidl National Football League Division 3 final, which is going to get underway in just over a half an hour. But for now, congratulations to Offaly, commiserations to Wexford, or to Limerick I should say. It is finished here at St Brendan's Park in Burr. Offaly 3-12, Limerick 4-4.
sponsors down to the years, and also have basically confirmed another 4 years of sponsorship with an investment of over 5 million for the next 4 years. So a huge thank you to Lidl for their sponsorship. Also, I'd like to thank the Pictures Committee and the staff of the NGFA for basically organising these games and for organising the National to lead them in. Again, a huge thank you to each and every one of you. And before I